Cross-examination.
Yes, sir. Disagree with any of the mapping of the cell site locations from Sergeant Corbitt's presentation?
No.
No. We saw on the section of his report where it shows a travel analysis of Donna Adelson the night of Dan Markell's murder. Do you remember that?
The ones where there's like projected travel paths.
Correct.
I do remember that.
Okay. And you don't disagree with the fact that her phone was communicating with the cell site in North Miami at 8:35 p.m. and you don't disagree with that site or sector that he mapped there, right?
Correct.
And you don't disagree with, on the following slide, that the next time she has location in her cell records is at 10:57, and you don't disagree with that cell site or sector that he mapped, right?
So I think the 1053.
I'm sorry, 1053. Thank you.
Was actually Harvey's cell phone.
Okay.
But if they're presumably in the same vehicle, the tower and sector is correct.
Okay. So for the location south of Charlie's residence and the location north of Charlie's residence that we have location for, you do not disagree with that?
No.
Okay. And the iMessage where she says outside your house, would you expect to have location for iMessages?
If it's from an iCloud return, no, I would not expect there to be location information from iCloud.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. It's not that we do have location for outside your house and it's not consistent with Charlie's house. It's just that we don't have location at all for outside your house.
Correct, there is no location.
But Donna Adelson says her location in that message, right?
There's the text message from the iCloud, correct?
Where she says outside your house.
Correct, that's the contents.
Okay. When you looked at Donna Adelson's records, was there a phone call between Donna Adelson and Annie Cunningham on the evening or night of July 18th, 2014?
I'm not familiar with that name.
You're not familiar with the name Annie Cunningham?
No.
Okay. What if I gave you her number? Would you be able to look and see?
I don't have the call details memorized, so...
Do you have them with you?
The original documents, I do.
Laptop, okay.
Yeah.
Would you be able to look and see?
I'm going to check this if you want the scope of direct.
Please approach. Hold. Ms. Guay, if you need the question repeated for you, Ms. Dugan will do so.
I'm pulling up your call detail records for Donna Adelson.
Of course.
Let me know when you're ready and I'll give you the number.
It's a fairly large file, so it'll take a second to load.
If it needs time to load, I can ask some other questions and come back to this if you'd...
Your Honor, I would just ask that if we're going to provide the phone number that we not do it so that it can be published to the media. If we can...
That's fine. Ms. Dugan, please handle your questioning on this matter discreetly so her phone number is not published to anyone watching.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm just going to filter to that date.
You can approach the witness to show her anything that she may need to read concerning this matter.
Yes, sir.
I'm just trying to get to the 18.
So am I showing you a contact with Annie Cunningham?
Correct.
Okay, and you don't need to say the number out loud, but is there a number next to it that begins with 845?
Correct.
Okay. 845 being the area code?
Yes.
Okay. That's the number we're looking for.
Okay.
And my question was there a phone call between Donna Adelson and Annie Cunningham the evening PM on the 18th of July, evening or night?
And to reiterate, it started with 845, correct?
Show you.
Please show it to her.
Okay, yeah. I see the number and I looked at the records for the evening of the 18th and I do not see a call to that number.
Okay. And that would be like in the afternoon, evening, or night that night? Of July 18th of 2014?
So starting from noon to noon on the 18th through midnight on the 18th, I don't see a call to that phone number.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we saw your presentation where one slide was kind of showing us what the raw records looked like, right?
Correct.
And the next slide was showing us an example of how a duplicate event looks. It can look like 3 entries, but it's actually one event, right?
Correct.
And then we saw the Sergeant Corbitt's frequency reports for Charlie Adelson and Donna Adelson, right?
Correct.
Okay. What is the purpose of a frequency report?
There's a lot of different purposes. So when I worked in law enforcement, I would do them for lots of different things. One of the things that you can do is just see who's the #1 caller for a particular person. Sometimes that's a significant other or family member. So that's one reason you can do a frequency analysis. Another is just to do more of a pattern of life and look at activity over matter of days, months, years.
Is another reason like to show a relationship between 2 parties, whether there is one at all, and if there is one, how often they talk
Yeah, that's definitely a reason.
in comparison to the other people they talk to?
Correct.
Do the frequency reports in Sergeant Corbitt's presentation that we saw in your presentation, do those accurately reflect the call detail records?
They represent the raw data accurately, correct?
Right. They represent the raw data of the records accurately.
Correct.
And do they accurately reflect that Charlie Adelson is Donna Adelson's most frequent contact?
For that particular time span of June 23 through July, I think it's 22?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
Okay. It's just that in Corbitt's frequency reports, those are the raw records without duplicates taken out, right?
Correct.
When you reviewed his, and well, let me show you this. I'm going to show you from 73A, slide 20. Are you familiar with this slide of the presentation?
I might have seen it at some point.
Okay. Would this be a representation in Sergeant Corbitt's presentation of 3 entries that are actually one event, like a duplicate event?
Potentially. I mean, I would like to see the feature flags or the call flags, but yes, based on the timestamps, the minutes, there's no seconds in this, but it does appear that this looks like a phone number is calling a phone number. It's being routed to what I know to be like an AT&T voicemail routing number, and then I see the first 2 numbers replicated. Again, I don't see the call type or the feature flags, but it does appear to be a 3-in-1 incident.
Okay. And when you reviewed Sergeant Corbitt's testimony from this trial, did you review a portion where he explained that call we just saw, what a duplicate is, and that his frequency reports did contain duplicates?
Yes, there was some testimony that I reviewed that he did say that there was like voicemail routing events that could show us more than one line.
Okay. When we see throughout that presentation, when we see the call detail records for a particular day, let's just say the day of the murder, in this case, July 18th, 2014, those summaries, the duplicates have been taken out, right?
Are you talking about like the slides that have just like the different rows?
Yes, for significant events in the
Correct.
case. Okay.
Yes.
And if you were to go through that frequency report and you only took out the duplicates for Donna's records for Charlie and Donna communicating, right?
Correct.
If you were to go through that frequency report though and take out all the duplicates across the board, it would reduce the total amount of communications for each contact, right?
Correct.
Okay, but it wouldn't change the frequency ranking of each contact.
I'm not entirely sure about that because, as I mentioned, the first one, when I was trying to recreate Charlie's, there were 3 different documents, and at least 2 of the documents had like dates that overlap. So I'm not sure if you would, because you would have to also take out like the extra for those dates, so that might change the numbers slightly.
If it did, it would be slight though.
Yeah.
Okay. And your testimony was that for Donna Adelson's frequency analysis, just with Charlie Adelson, instead of 80 events, she actually had 69 when you take out the duplicates.
Connected and attempted.
Connected and attempted, okay. What do you think that shows that's helpful to the defense in this case?
I think it just goes to, when I look at records, I like to be precise with my numbers.
Okay. And when Sergeant Corbitt testified, he did let the jury know that this contains duplicates though, right? For the frequency report?
I think he said that it does include voicemail forwarding events.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is he didn't say anything that was unreliable or inaccurate with that.
I think that being able to see exactly how many can be important.
Because it's 69 and not 80 when duplicates are taken out, does that mean that Charlie Adelson and Donna Adelson don't have a relationship?
No.
And you still agreed that Charlie Adelson is still Donna Adelson's most frequent contact, right?
For that time period.
When we looked at Donna Adelson's frequency report, in your presentation and in Corbitt's presentation, this one, right? Number 2 on that list is not an actual person, right?
I'd have to pull it up I don't have it memorized.
Okay. You want to pull yours up?
Sure.
Okay. Is the second ranking on that list her voicemail, AT&T voicemail routing number?
Correct.
Okay. So, and then 3rd place on that list of most frequent contacts is Harvey Adelson, her husband, with the 9032 number?
Correct.
Okay. So Charlie Adelson would still be first, followed by the number of calls routed to voicemail.
Correct.
Where did you fly her from?
Portland, Oregon.
Okay. And how long did that take?
6-ish hours.
And was that paid for by you or paid for by the defense?
Paid for by the defense.
And how much are you charging for your work in this case?
The roll-off charges $300 an hour.
And does that include the work that you did that we saw here in court prior to coming to court today?
Correct.
Okay. And does that include your travel?
Correct.
As far as $300 an hour during the time that you're spent traveling?
Correct. It's the company's policy.
Okay. And waiting to testify and testifying, is it that same amount?
Correct.
Do you know the total amount the defense has paid for your testimony here today?
I don't. The company does, but
do you know about the amount of hours that you spent on this case, including travel?
the amount of hours on the total case, no. On travel, they just do a flat rate of 10 hours if I work over 10 hours. So for yesterday, so the trip for the trial would have been about 30 hours, so about $10,000.
Okay, thank you.
Redirect examination.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Ms. Guay, did you prepare a written report that you provided to my office concerning the manual review of Charlie Adelson's phones? Or phone with the frequency analysis for his contact with Donna Adelson?
Using Donna's records?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And using those records, you indicated that it reflected about 393. Would it be helpful to see your report for what your numbers were for unique call events from May 2nd to July 20th?
For using Donna's records to deduplicate
Yes.
between that time period, I think it was 211 deduplicated.
So 211 rather than 417?
From the May 2nd through July 20th.
Now, you indicated on cross that you did not locate a call between Annie Cunningham and Donna Adelson on July 18th of 2014, correct?
I did not see one.
Okay. Now, the records that are collected by call detour records, those are for communication events that are through the carrier.
Correct.
And so any communication event that took place through a third-party app would not be collected there.
Correct.
So, for example, are you familiar with the apps WhatsApp and Viper?
Yes.
Okay. How did those show up on call detail records?
So any application, anything third party, really even FaceTime audio or FaceTime video is technically not, through the AT&T network. All of that activity would be a data transaction. So when you look at AT&T records for a data transaction, it's not going to show you individual items, for example, that you got an email and that was so many bytes sent on the network. It's just going to show you a time that the data session was open and how many bytes were received and how many bytes were sent from the handset to and from the network. So AT&T does show data transactions, but it's not going to show like a FaceTime audio or, an email.
So in other words, when you are using FaceTime audio or FaceTime or one of these apps, it's not going to, the number that you dial is not going to show up on the call detail records.
Correct.
It's going to show up on the data session that AT&T records report.
It would be lumped into the data session. You aren't going to see like what was being used for the data session.
And these data sessions, do they typically have like a certain time period that they last?
There, a lot of times on an AT&T record, you'll see a data session that can run up to about 60 minutes. You can have ones that run less than that, but AT&T data is kind of all over the board.
Now, with these data sessions, the way that our phones work, if you have your phone constantly having alerts pushed or emails pushed to your phone, those are going to show up how?
Again, if it's like, let's say you have your email and you have it set to like give me a notification every time I get an email, that means that your phone has to be communicating with Google servers, Gmail servers, right? So that it knows when you get an email. So that's going to be lumped into these data sessions.
In the call detail records that you reviewed for Donna Adelson, specific as to July 18th of 2014, did those records reflect that Mrs. Adelson's phone was engaged in data sessions?
On the 18th, it was.
Was it consistent throughout the evening and night of July 18th, 2014, that Mrs. Adelson's device was engaged in data sessions?
There were data sessions throughout the day, including the evening.
So the entire time that she was driving with her husband on July 18th of 2014, her phone was connected to some tower engaged in a data session.
So the records don't give you like minute by minute, second by second. So when I look at data transmissions, data records, I look at the time when that data transmission was initiated, because in order for a data transmission to be initiated, the phone would have to be on and connected to the network, right? Your phone, if it's in airplane mode or off, it's not going to be able to reach the network. So the time when that data begins, the phone would have had to be on. When I see these things like 60 minutes, do I know with 100% certainty based on these records that the phone was on for the entire 60 minutes? I can't say that, but I do know at least at the beginning that phone was on and connected to the network. And I did see data transmissions throughout the day and the evening where the connected time was, kind of throughout the day.
And so those data sessions, would those be consistent with Donna Adelson having a phone call with Annie Cunningham on either WhatsApp or Viper the night of July 18th of 2014?
It could be. I can't say if
Just-
it was or wasn't.
Just a moment, Your Honor. Nothing further from Ms. Guay?
You may step down.
State to ask one more question.
What's that?
Would you permit the state to ask one more question?
This witness is only here for today under the defense subpoena.
Yes, Your Honor. She flies out this evening.
Do not permit recross, please approach. Based on the witness's limited availability, I will permit the recross on the one question. Ms. Dugan, you may ask.
Yes, sir. Defense asked, well, could there be a call to Annie Cunningham on WhatsApp or some app that you're not able to show? Was Donna Adelson the afternoon, evening, night of July 18th, 2014, was she using her phone to make voice calls and answer voice calls to and from people that night? Like, and when I say voice call, I mean like if I picked up my phone and called your phone, an ordinary voice call, was she using her phone in that manner with other people that night?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The defense need to redirect on that one point.
One question, and I'll keep it at one. Ms. Guay, can you pull up the phone records for Ms. Adelson on the night of July 18th of 2014?
Give me a second.
That wasn't the wrong question, was
No, that was preparatory.
All right.
Do you see, can you tell us how many calls from 8:30 p.m. until 1 a.m. you see in Mrs. Adelson's records?
3.
Nothing further.
Ms. Guay, you may step down.
Thank you.